Hi everyone,
Hello, welcome back. Nice to see you.
it's lovely to see you indeed, and we are glad to actually speak about something very exciting. And the idea was one of our lovely subscribers, Eva, and we'll actually talk about how the higher self affects the twin flame union.
Yes, and these comments are coming from the Telegram group. We also make videos from the YouTube comments, but Telegram group is also a way for you to have a communication with all of us and even answer your own questions that you have there. There's support.
Yep, and you can connect with other twin flames there. It's coming up as a very lovely space. I like it very much.
Me too. So how does it affect the twin flames, the higher self? It's higher self is everything. It's actually your own God, and everyone has its own perception of what God is. But the higher self is the simplest, most powerful, and direct way to communicate with God. And obviously, if it has an impact in your life, it will have an impact in the twin flame union because twin flames are basically the same person divided into two, but it's just that the one is the shadow, the other is the light, and obviously the higher self is gonna act a lot in this.
Now, the higher self, if we compare it with Kundalini, is more related with our higher chakras, let's say, from the heart chakra upwards. Is Kundalini would be more the lower chakras. When we speak about higher and lower chakras, I don't want you to come with the wrong perception that the higher are better, the more spiritual and stuff like this. Each particle of the aura, because these are elements of the aura, have its own place, and there's something very interesting in the Japanese philosophy. The elements which are on the lower scale, let's put it like this, they serve as a basis. So the ones that are on the higher scale, they step on this basis, and that's how they exist. But we're not gonna speak about Kundalini in this video whatsoever. We might make the same format about Kundalini depending on your interest in the topic. We'll really focus on the
We're gonna speak
higher
about
self now.
we are going to speak about me because I have made a video
That's a very cool
one
video.
or 2 years ago that the higher self is your twin flame and the Kundalini is you, or vice versa. And it's actually a very cool video.
The masculine part of the
Kundalini, but
of the twin flame union.
that's how the title was made. And yes, of course, for them to understand, it's the masculine part and equals the higher self and equals one of the twin flame couple.
Yes.
Right? And
The divine masculine part.
I'm gonna try to remember to put somewhere here for you to see this video. It's very cool.
It is a very nice video, yes.
And,
one of my favorites.
Yeah. So
now, when we talk about higher self, because what Anders said, that's literally our closest connection with God, let's say. Superficially, we many times imagine something untouchable, something far away from us. As a matter of fact, I think we have mentioned this in other videos. Whenever higher self comes to deliver messages, first of all, they're never direct messages, because whatever communicates with us has to pass through the mind, right? And there's the ego there in the background, so they will always interfere. And to skip this interference, the message will usually come in almost like in riddles.
Yeah, like
hidden
coded.
messages. Yeah, coded. Very much encoded, and it is up to you to decode them because these are personal messages. The codes there will be based on your beliefs, your subconsciousness, your level of consciousness, and your general awareness and perception of things. Let's say you believe that a black cat passing in front of you, for example, is bad luck. Then that could be used in delivering messages as something bad coming. But if you believe that it's something very good, that it's lucky, then the message will have a totally different meaning.
And the best explanation to what Pat is saying, there's a movie called Inception from Leonardo DiCaprio, and he says that, not only says, but when he was teaching someone else how to be lucid inside the dreams and how to pay attention to what is in front of you, when it's like very obvious, the messages, we become very surprised towards the messages, and this alerts the ego and it shuts down everything, or the whole dream becomes becomes against you because you are not stabilized, like you are a little bit on the alert. So when it's a boring message like a riddle, you are bored and you don't get moved. You hear the message, and then when you wake up you will see what it represented.
Yeah. So it is up to us really to go deep into the message and to figure out. I have realized that in dreams, very often the higher self doesn't come as something exceptional. If you see masculine, usually it's masculine energy somehow. I don't know why.
So the other way
Something
around.
masculine, exceptional, that's more probable to be the ego. But that's another topic. Now, the higher self will usually come into very simple roles, like a person that, if it comes as a person in our dreams, let's say, a person that is trying to give you guidance on how to protect yourself, how to secure yourself, and very interestingly, it will focus your attention usually on the love.
Yeah.
That's the very interesting part.
You will not feel fear from the approach of the higher self in your dreams.
Yes, no fear whatsoever.
No doubt, you will feel comfort, confidence, and love. Yeah, that's what it is. Just like when you look at your father, if he treated you well in this world, of course.
So, yes, exactly. So, the focus will be very much on the love. So, the higher self will really work and put your focus on the connection with your twin flame.
I'm just going to remind
we're talking
something
about twin flames here.
I'm going to remind them something because they might say, okay, how the higher self affects twin flames. You're explaining what the higher self is and how to distinguish the messages. But, this is the higher self sends messages to us, and in order for us to stabilize our relationship and to keep on track, like, and to follow the journey as painless as possible. As the Kundalini is a little bit the opposite, but of course we'll speak in another video. But if we don't distinguish who is the higher self and who is not, then we cannot even get the messages. Then we cannot even get on track with our journey. It's impossible.
So you might see the higher self in your dreams as a totally unknown person that you just don't know this, but you feel a very good vibe, like you feel very deeply connected with this person, or loved, or protected, very protected. And what I wanted to say again, I lost my thought.
So we will blame the higher self.
No. Yeah. And he usually comes sometimes in the face of people that we know, masculine characters. It might be a relative, it might be a friend, it might be even someone that you follow but you don't personally know.
And speaking of faces, you can remember the face when you wake up. This is one of the biggest signs. As if it's an entity trying to to distract you, to make something that you don't like, you will not remember this face. Most of the times you don't remember. It's almost impossible. I don't know why. This is something
that you experience.
Yes.
I don't really... Well, you're quite right. Because usually the higher self, when he comes, he has a very pronounced expression.
Exactly,
that's true.
yes.
And that's why maybe he chooses also to come into, a role sometimes of a friend or a relative, or someone that we really trust, a masculine energy.
And
person.
he has a funny vibration around him, like not funny bad, funny good, like nice humor, even pleasant, and it's very cool. You enjoy the presence.
The communication is generally very light. What is coming from there, no grudges whatsoever. Probably the lightest of the lightest vibration. It's a very clean, very pure, very beautiful.
If we could say one word to describe what the higher self is and how it impacts twin flames, is either guidance slash directions, because there's a part, I don't know, I think you never heard this, very little of you heard this, I'm sure, the void beings. The void beings is gaps in the system, gaps in the world. It's in order to be able to fill up space where it's empty and it needs something to be there, It's almost like you're driving on the road and you need signs in order to tell you here is prohibited to turn right, over there you have to turn left. Imagine one sign is missing. If it's missing, then we're gonna fill up this gap with a void being. A void being is like almost like a human being, but he only exists for 10 seconds or 1 hour, depends how long it needs. Mm-hmm. And this happened to me. It was incredible. I was in a metro station. We were together looking for something. Maybe we were not entirely sure what we were doing, I guess. And a person appeared to me while Patty was not with me for a moment. And he told me something. I don't remember what he told me, but it was something like, what exactly I have to do to take the metro to the right place or something like that.
Exactly, it will tell you directions. It will be giving you directions in your dream.
There was nobody else.
I want to say something important. Before you continue, you'll continue with your story.
Okay.
And this important thing is about our upcoming book.
Whoa! It's almost ready. It's we can smell it, the pages turning. And yeah.
What's the title of the book?
So the title of the book is the Twin Flame Model Remake. It's gonna be marvelous. It's marvelous.
Yep, that's pretty much, I would say, the first part of a bigger work coming out there. But it's very important, just like we said, is the basis of what is to continue.
Yeah, without this, a human being cannot move on. This life became so difficult to continue in this modern world that we really need to look up to some kind of instructions, something to remember who we are. Otherwise, we're lost. It's crazy.
So I think the book, as simple as it might sound at first reading it, but it's really full of information that especially Andre has been gathering with years, and he tried to make it as compact as possible, almost to serve as a guide, and it gives a lot of freedom, emotional freedom. That's very important in the twin flame journey, because that's also something related with the higher self. The higher self, as I mentioned earlier, focuses on the love and how together the union of the twin flames brings that love, and the focus on the love is the most important things that is.
Most powerful. Many people seek black magic and other things for power, but love is more powerful than all this. Mm-hmm. Black magic itself runs away from love. Love is more powerful. Mm-hmm. Beats everyone with a stick.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to continue with my story. For more information, you can go in our website on the main page, andreinpetia.one. You will see the book straight on as soon as you enter, it will be there. So I was in the metro. There was nobody around me. Nobody. Because I think Petya was probably away looking for something else. Maybe went in the shop because we had a shop. It's a big shop. I don't know. There was nobody, just one person. This person was telling me instructions. Like it took maybe 10 seconds to tell me something like directions in Portuguese because we were in Portugal. Perfect Portuguese, no problem. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and do what he says. I turned my head for 2 seconds. He went on a way where there's no end because it's the metro. So technically,
So you could see far away this road, let's say.
yeah, it is not even a road. It's like a dead end because this is the rail for the metro.
There's nowhere else to go.
Yes. So you cannot go left and right. You can only take the metro or the train, for you to understand, one direction. The other direction is meaningless. There's nowhere to go. He went that direction to the no ending, okay? And I just turned for 2 seconds and I was like, oh, let me ask him something else. I turn, he's gone. Like, a nice person, maybe 40, 50 years old.
A very
real person, speaks Portuguese, no problem. And he was very kind, very nice. Felt good to be around. I have goosebumps. I cannot show you, but maybe I can. I don't know. And he disappeared. And I felt so... I immediately felt this is a void being.
I also have stories of such people.
Now, I was like... I was supposed to feel afraid because of void being. Even the name feels funny. But I came up with something more important. Void beings are tools. Just like water is a tool, fire is a tool. But someone else is using the void beings for something. And in this case, the higher self uses the void beings for your own good, for you to know what to do. And I'm sure we are meeting void beings all the time. We just don't know. It just so happened to me.
Reminds me one of the most vivid dreams I had with a higher self. I'm going to be very short, not to drag this video too much.
Yes.
And in this video, we got on a train, the two of us. There were other people there on the same train. And later on, of course, I realized that it was the higher self driving the train. And when I went to look from his perspective, from the very front of the train, there was no road. It was just a field. And he was driving, this train was passing, but the moment it was like touching the field or whatever, the road was appearing.
Like 1 meter in front of the train?
Not even 1 meter, right at under it. It was like the train was carrying the road itself. And the message there was that there's actually a very beautiful quote from Rumi, I think, that when you start to something, and it's not literally like this, but when you start to the journey, the road will disappear. It will start to appear. So until then, we don't see it. And again, the focus here was something about love, the subconscious messages. So if we follow the love, it may seem like a dead end, but the higher self will really send us help.
It will feel like we are in the desert. But
just like this void being was sent to you to give you directions. So that's how seamless, is it correct? Is the
seamless?
Seamless, yes. That's how seamless.
I correct you, you correct me.
Yes, is the help of the higher self. We cannot perceive it until we experience it. We will not see it, we will not feel it until we experience it, but it will come right in the right time, as long as we take the right way.
That's it. You know we love you, huh?
Yes, very much.